go back to the game with Ohio State and talk about some of the things that your team was able to do well that really pushed that 20-point win.
I think, when we were down, 7 or 8 in the first half, just trying to stay focused during that point. They were 7 for 7 threes at one point, and we weren't closing out to them. Needed help on the weak side, but tried to keep emphasizing to them to play harder, guard harder, and then take great shots. And I think you saw Alexis, whether she was taking it to the rim or whether she was passing the ball or whether she was shooting threes, some things happened for her, and then Chanel catches on, and then, somebody else drops a bucket, so that success leads to success. So that run toward the end of the half, I think gave us some good momentum. Then at the beginning of the second half, I was concerned defensively because I didn't think that we were guarding as hard. We had one time they penetrated the bucket, next time we didn't have weak side help. And so, as we subbed, though, during that first really 3 or 4 minutes of that half, we were just trying to emphasize as a Mellie, as an Alexis, as MCAT, and some of them rotated out, is, hey, we have to, to guard harder. We have to pick up momentum. We have to have better pressure. Ty played, 4 minutes, and it was at a point when we said that she wouldn't go any further. You had B. Wash step in and made a three, took the ball to the bucket, got to the free throw line. That was in the first half, I believe. And then Rima, even though she's not, say, our first look from an offensive standpoint in the second half, I think she had a bucket in transition coming down or a layup that we needed and guarded better in the second half. And then we put Mellie at a 4 some. And even though she was there in the first half, I thought the second half, though, when it was, we did have a lead, and it was, 8-10, something like that. When Mellie was at a 4 and she picked up some full court and got a couple of extra possessions there. We hit the floor for the ball. We came up with a 3, 1 or 2 threes. That may have been in a stretch where MCAT was making, but we were making extra passes. We were seeing each other, and that's where, the gap got a little bit larger. So, that's I'm just glad that we continued to play. I know the free throws were even. We missed some, but we were even there. The rebounds in the second half, we did a better job from an offensive board standpoint and limited theirs. Early on they were getting more offensive looks. The assist-turnover ratio, us holding them below their regular season field goal percentage is important, and us being able to hit better than 55%. But the big statistic would be the points, 37 points, I think, off of the turnovers. And so we capitalized on the things that we, did. And it was a great win for us. It was a great win. It was a great team win. A lot of people contributed to that.
Coach Fanning, and Chanel had 2 big games in the opening round, first 2 games. Did you tell the team to try to get her more involved, or was it just one of the situations where the flow of the game just led the ball more toward her?
The Middle Tennessee game and with Ohio State, and even before that, we've been trying to emphasize to our team to get the right touches to the right people at the right time. And, if that's Chanel or if that's an extra pass or if it's, Mellie's penetration, if it's MCAT or Alexis's 3, so Chanel's an important part of our rotation. I think that she's continuing to try to step up her game. We've said this, though, about our team, that we still haven't played our best basketball. I think that we touched on our best game of the year together collectively against Ohio State. But now, if we don't improve, then there won't be another game. So now when improved, does that mean that you're going to shoot a better percentage? Does that mean you're going to score more points? No, that means that we're going to have to get steady for 40 minutes and not have maybe the defensive lapse of letting somebody shoot an uncontested shot. But Chanel's a big part of that. She, a player, you want them all to have confidence to take what's given and not force things. And she was able to do that. I thought that she did a good job trying to defensively to really front those 2 days. She was trying hard to be more aggressive, trying hard to be more physical. And so that, hopefully that is a part of what we've been emphasizing all along. The players are just continuing to improve and do their part. And she was a huge part in our last 2 games.
I'll read you something from ESPN that I saw this morning. I won't read it when I read it quick. It says the Seminoles were the ACC's 2nd most consistent team. The Bulldogs were one of the SEC's least consistent. I thought that was appropriate given what you just said about trying to get better. Do you, I would imagine you do feel it's capable, but how confident are you that the team step and get better?
You know, there's not any guarantees day to day on what's going to happen with any basketball team. That's why it's called March Madness, I suppose. I know that right now that you try to take what you've just done and you try to emphasize to them what I said in our post-game press conferences, to stay humble and stay hungry. You have to realize what got you there. You can't get tight. That's just like in a first half to a second half, and you can't think, oh man, we got this lead, or we just won this game. It's what you do the next time you get on the floor. We have 2 days now of preparation, actually 3, with them on the floor, and they need to get better. And they need to, they've had from when we finished that game to now to enjoy what has just happened and to reflect on that. And now I'm sure there'll be a lot of questions relative to their comments on, the same things that you guys are going over with me. And I emphasize to them, though, it's not a new season. The new season was the postseason play this past weekend. Okay, so you've gone through the nerve piece, you've gone through adjustment. Now you're back to work, and this is just the next game that happens. And you have to go back to those stats, those 5 categories that we've talked about, and you're going to have to do a better job in some of those areas. And you're going to have to try to maintain the momentum. But the young ladies are the ones that's going to make this happen. They're the ones that made those plays. There was something. They had a good focus, and there's something special as a team starts to gel and make the extra passes and stay connected and have the connected toughness that they need. But that's those young ladies that are getting this done, and so they have to be able to get themselves ready to enjoy the process too. Don't let something build up where that there's more pressure or what you've. The other thing is not to be satisfied. Yes, we've taken a step with our program that we want to take, but we want to be the best team that we can possibly be. We've taken some steps with that. Some this past weekend, there were some great things, and there were some things that we want to improve on. So let's stay focused on that. Let's keep it simple and continue to work on fundamentals and know that we're going to have to play better and harder every game that we have an opportunity to play if we want to advance. What was your quote you gave them?
That was, I think, what we call T. But lightning rarely strikes twice in the same place, and the Seminoles are too good defensively to let the Bulldogs shoot better than 50% from the field, as Mississippi State did in upsetting the Bulldogs. Buckeyes. Needless to say, that person could close them.
Okay.
Would you care to respond to that?
I think that I'll go back to my 5 points. We need to approach 45% and keep them under 40%. We need to rebound a team by 10 if we can, 5 on the offensive boards. We need to make 10 more free throws than our opponent. We need to have a positive assist-turnover ratio and work as hard as we can to get 2 to 1. Whatever percentages those fall, that's what we need to try to do. If it happens, I think that Florida State is a long, quick, aggressive, defensive team. They have a lot of multiple defenses, whether it's full court, whether it's half-court traps, different looks. So you're going to see a lot more variety of things. We anticipated we would see some zone with Ohio State and didn't. So, you prepare for everything, but we expect to see a really aggressive team. You have 3 of those kids that were freshmen when we beat them here in overtime, 4 years ago, and now they're in key roles to them especially. And so it's, they're familiar with us somewhat, and we're familiar with them. But that is a long time ago, and it's 2 different teams now with everything that plays together. But I know that they, like you say, they've been a consistent, hard-working team that plays very, very well together and finds ways to win. That's why we as a team, we're going to have to improve. You're going to have to handle it a little bit different. But any game that you play, it's just a little bit different. We have to play our best basketball and staying connected, knowing that there's going to be a lot more heat on the ball, a lot more pressure.
Coach, have you even talked about the fact that UConn is on the other side of the bracket with the team?
I'm sorry, that you, who? When the brackets came out, you're there, but I'll say the same thing that I said prior to going into this last weekend. If you're looking beyond anything else, then you're not going to be playing that game. And I think that, if that's the anticipation, and that's why I tried to keep it such a low key with Ohio State. I mean, obviously that was a matchup that a lot of people talked about earlier. Right now, the greatest challenge that we have is to be the best basketball team that we can be on Sunday, and however that falls, that falls.
To be in the Sweet 16 and have 2 straight tournaments, in the bigger picture, what does that say about the program?
Every year I try. I know y'all. I tell you that things become boring probably or done. We want to be the best team that we can be. We want to improve. We want to work toward championships. And there's a championship in the league, so obviously that's what you want to work toward. And then now you have several opportunities, and then there's a national championship, and we're in the mix of that. And so that's great. It's a blessing for our program that we have this opportunity. It's a credit to these young ladies, and I go back to what I said earlier. They're the ones that's putting it on the floor. So I'm blessed with a great staff. The staff is the one that breaks down things and prepares, and the support staff that's around that. The young ladies that don't get the minutes on the floor. They're doing a lot of the scout stuff with some of the scout guys that are out here. But when we're on the road, it's just us as a team, and that's where the credit needs to go, is to them, because they're the ones that have to make these decisions on how hard they're going to play, and have to be prepared for that, and have to stay focused through everything that you go through, and be ready to be tough together. And that's what, if there's anything to win out there, if they're keeping score, then we want to win it. So hopefully we can take that next step and just keep it all in perspective, but realize what got us there and what it's going to take for us to continue.
Does LSU, as a team that you guys have played this season, does LSU most resemble Florida State?
Florida State's different in that they pick you up full court and have a lot of multiple things. LSU, they'll pick you up, but they're, more that half court, defense, man-to-man stuff, and not as much, I think, variety, but successful. And so every team that we've played this year, there's something that they do, and on our scouting report, do what we do better. And that's what an LSU does. That's what a Florida State does. And, that's what Mississippi State's going to try to do as well.
Is there a team that's most similar, or not most similar, but similar to what Florida State got?
They're a combination probably of the LSU's and Kentucky's, but both of those teams are man-to-man solely. And this team has a lot of different looks, so I don't know that it's exactly like a team that we've played. The Texas is very athletic, long, quick. Have the perimeter shooters, have the player on the rim, have the point guard with the great assist-turnover ratio, the success and the balance that you've talked about, the consistency throughout the year. So they're sort of a combination of some teams.
Sometimes we use the term zone when one player's playing well, like when Alexis, when she's scoring a lot of points. Do you see when she's about to get hot, and then do you try to?
When I see it go in the hole, then I'm hoping that there's going to be one that follows it. You try to just stay focused on what you're running, and you see so many things on the floor, and what happened the other day is an expectation. So you hope that they all get in that zone, and I feel like that our team was in a zone, and it wasn't necessarily just that offensive stuff that happened. They had to scramble defensively, and they had to get the transition. They had to handle the basketball. Our assist-turnover ratio, you handle the basketball, take care of it, and get great shots, make an extra pass, and play together as a team, you can make a lot of things happen. And so hopefully we'll be in that same type zone, regardless of what scores end up or shooting percentages and stuff. But as long as we have connected toughness, we'll be able to find a way to win a ball game if we have that together. We can win a lot of games that way. I think the greatest challenge, though, is when you may not hit those shots, the 55%, because that's that's an exception a lot of times. And so it's how you play when that's not happening that's going to define you.
Anything else? Thank you.
Thank you.